we are at it again. It's one of such platform whereby we want to reach out to the public, especially the younger ones. My name is Otumba Mayedero. On Analytics by SLUICE today, I have with me Saint Envy.
Yeah.
And he will be the co-host. I will be your host for this show. I will start by telling you this simple story. When I lived with my father and mother in a very remote village in Ekiti State, myself and my kid brother had this beautiful idea to do something creative, something different from what the villagers are used to. We have many trials, but something struck my mind. We noticed people in that village usually have skin irritation, probably from the stream water they fetch to bathe and do all stuff. So it came to myself and my brother that there's this leaf. I don't know the name now. Like when you take the liquid inside that leaf, you rub it on your face. It heals any sort of skin disease you have. So we gather this leaf, we match it with toothpaste, with all sorts of stuff. So we came up with this funny cream for skin irritation. We were actually afraid to sell it to people. But do you know, funniest thing was, I told her most of I encouraged my kid brother that you go like this, I will go like this. When they catch you, they want to beat you. Run like this, we meet us. But our parents must not know about this. We packaged about like 20 pieces of it. We were selling it for 5 naira at that time. We sold everything. We continue each time we're on break, we repeat this thing. But do you know what? We're making money. People were getting resource for what they want. We are only talking about the concept that brought that idea. We couldn't continue with that kind of concept because we did not have mentors. We couldn't continue because we don't have those big bros that will teach us the right way to go. Don't forget, we're in the village. There's a life before social media. There's a life before laptop. There's a life before TV. There's a life even before the fire camp. We want to truly bring these things together. We want to see if this will encourage the younger ones to look inward into the talent God has given them, into the society we find ourselves, what they have brought in us. Then let us put this out. Let us see how we can use our personal efforts to encourage our economy. When I'm talking about economy, Nigerian economy, don't forget the economy starts with you, your family, your society, the state you are, your religious centers. Those are the things that make up the economy. On this show today, we want to talk about how foreign products, if it's really helping us in Nigeria or it's killing us in Nigeria. I only have an accounting background, but on this show with me, I have financial expert and a renowned economist. In fact, I remember the latest first class student in Unilag MBA. We have the opportunity to have him. And we have our wonderful financial expert, Mr. Bolaon.
Nice to be here.
So, Mr. Bolaon, we understand the fact that Nigeria is a beautiful place.
It is.
We are over 200 million people.
So we are told.
I like that. We might be more. Maybe 250, maybe 300, maybe less, maybe 100. But let's work with the what they want us to believe. So,
right.
Something came to my mind that when Dangote wakes up in the morning, he has 1,001 things to do. Let us imagine that Dangote picks up his call this morning after Bolaon, you are joining me for one event today. He calls Centevi, you are joining me to come on platform today. I'm sure you will want to go. He will want to go.
Definitely.
That's just one man. And among all these things Dangote can do, he can only do one thing at a time.
Correct.
What happens to those other things Dangote can do? Why can't we grow ourselves to fit into that place?
To create many Dangotes.
God bless you. So it didn't start from Dangote you are seeing on social media today. It started from that Dangote then with Dantata. He has Dantata. I want us to bridge this gap. So, but Mr. Golaon, before I really want you to hear your opinion about this what we're discussing, I would like Sentavi to introduce
Mr. Bolan.
our able economist. Let's introduce our able economist in the house.
So Mr. Bolan, Mr. Dotun is so versed in a lot of things, and then he is a PhD student of the Department of Economics at the prestigious University of Lagos, and also an MBA student at the Lagos Business School. Dotun holds a professional certification from the ACI Financial Market Association, ACI FMA, a globally recognized trade association representing the interest of professionals in wholesale financial markets. Known for his insatiable curiosity and unwavering commitment to learning, Dotun has not only excelled in coursework, but has also consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership and a passion for making a positive impact. His stellar academic achievements, combined with a spirit of innovation and dedication to community service, mark Dotun as an outstanding individual poised for a brighter and impactful future. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Isenere Dotun.
Thank you.
I hope I pronounced it.
You got it.
I got it. I knew that I was for this one.
I'm going to wait this picture.
I don't know what, but I don't try.
That is actually
Thank you for having me
Yeah.
on your platform. Thank you.
And it's one of the things we try to do. We try to bridge the gap because the society where we are these days, we have a lot of younger ones who wants to jump the horse. They don't want to go through the due process. And look at you now, looking so young, so fresh, so, and yet your brain, they walk hello. So that's the spirit. That's why we have you here, so we can bridge the gap between, our time and what we do and what we've achieved and what these our present Gen Zs need to bridge, Yeah. So over to you, Maola.
So the thing is, this is actually a conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
We can record this and throw it out. We can record this and put it inside our laptop. But we just want you to talk to us the way you talk to like your brother at home. We know Nigeria youth. We are not lazy, but are we focusing our energy on the right thing? As an economist, you should be able to tell us that in the next 20 years, if you continue like this is how we're going to end. I remember Singapore, that we used to hear this story that they came to Nigeria to come and get palm kernel and all that. Today, Singapore will be competing with China when the time comes. I mean, they are limited in population compared to China, but the way they are working, I mean, they made their business. So tell us what we need to do. If there is this thing I really want us to talk about here. If Nigeria can escape its reliance on foreign goods, is there economic sense in what we are saying? If we have depended so much on made in abroad, made in Kenya, even if you want to buy phone, it must be maybe you can say UK used.
Nigeria is not produced phone now, so how do you expect us to buy
And you see,
Nigerian
these people
phone?
when they produce, they send it to Nigeria.
Yeah, we are consumers.
So what can we do? What can we do to just stand as a country that produces something? Not even toothpick we don't produce
We
here.
produce our
Well,
children.
we must. It's a cacophony of many things. It's a cocktail, and we need to be able to look at what are the various roles that various members of the society or various levels of leadership in the society have to play in getting us from where we are to where we want to be. There's always a temptation to look at leadership only from maybe the man who is in Abuja, but that is not true. Children have parents. That is a level of leadership. They go to school. That is another level of leadership. There are the teachers, there are the principal, and all of that's leadership. Then when you come to the religious circles, you also see leadership there. The pastors, they are all leading, the imams, they are all leaders in the society. And if you go to the political leadership, then right from the councillors to the local government chairman, to the state government, then to the federal. All these are various layers of leadership, and they have their roles in taking us from where we are to wherever we want to go to tomorrow. Sometimes things are better illustrated with stories, and I'll tell a very short one about patriotism. I had a colleague. He was an Indian man. When we were hiring him, he was already working in Abuja, so we wanted to bring him to Lagos. He said he wanted to, because he's going to have to stay in a hotel for a bit before we'll find a place for him. He said he wants an Indian hotel.
In Nigeria?
Yes. So we found one on N.U.R.T.W. That was where he chose to stay. During the time we worked together, I ended up knowing a lot of Indian restaurants. Courtesy of my friend. Whenever he says, let's have lunch, he's taking you to an Indian restaurant where we'll introduce you to Indian cuisine, say, this is it, that is it, this is it. We were going to register this gentleman for HMO, health insurance. He insisted there has to be an Indian hospital. We found one for him on Victoria Island as well. In December, he traveled. When he came back, he said, GB, I'm back. Will you come and say hello to me? When I went to his hotel, he brought out brandy made in India to offer me. He said, look, Nigerians are always talking about, this brandy, that brandy. Have you tasted Indian brandy before? The lessons for me in that guy's life. In fact, when we were hiring, we were going to hire some techies for one of our clients. After, we've tried a bit, he said, look, I can get you wonderful CVs from India. They will even be cheaper than what these guys are asking. I thought it was a joke. In a couple of days, this man found us about 10 CVs from India. We ended up hiring some of those people from India. The heart of that matter is patriotism. Something that says an Indian man is in Nigeria, but when he wants to consume products, even in this market, he's still thinking India. It's not only thinking India, it's recommending India to other people. It's introducing people to India while even still here. So there is an issue with patriotism as we are today, and we must be able to begin to drive that right level of patriotism within the people. It is easier when it is the leaders that are driving it. I'll give another example of how leaders can drive it. So National Assembly members may want to buy vehicles, and there's an imported Toyota from Japan, latest model, or a Lexus, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with you writing any car you want to ride. It's a nice idea. Freedom to ride it. But when the government is the one buying it, the government can decide to say, look, if I'm buying 100 vehicles this year for people, 50 of it must be by manufacturers that are here.
Yes.
What does that do? It helps to enhance the capacities of these manufacturers to continue to improve. Toyota did not get to where it is today overnight. So are all the other manufacturers. If you want them to be able to do well, to compete very well, you need to help their capacity by patronizing them. And then by the time you use the first, just before this program, we're talking about Kia. How some years ago in this market, if you say Kia, people will be like, what is it talking about?
Trust in them.
It's a totally different story today. People have tasted Kia cares market has expanded,
And now
they
they care.
found, and now they care. So if you don't put an innocent in the hands of the people, how do they know what an innocent feels like on the road?
So then, how do we? So I like the angle you're talking from.
Yeah.
But how do we bring this into? Let it happen. See, many people know about this things you are talking about. That Nigeria government. See, I want us to avoid our leadership. How can we start from the grassroots? As an economist, I'm sure that the effect of these things, an Indian man in Nigeria living in India in Nigeria, is living with India in Nigeria. What is causing? See, myself and Centevi were talking about something the other time that why most of these people don't really like patronizing things from Nigeria is because of number one, integrity, value, quality. As an economist, how can we encourage even our local manufacturers that produce sachet water? How can they see economic value in what they do, so that maybe they can attract something that can just boost their production or something? You understand what I mean?
I understand.
So, like, please, how can we?
So for me, I'll still ride upon what he was saying. You need to orientate the people. There has to be a shared goal, a common goal that we're all trying to achieve. Still bringing it out to, or narrowing it from that patriotism point of view. Indian, some way, have found a way to drive this into their subconsciousness that we are Indians and we must patronize our products. There's a concept of the GNP and there's concept of GDP. GDP is the monetary value of all goods.
But guy, you gotta calm down small. I beg. You need to, no, I want everybody to carry that along. So you can mention that, but you have to tell us what it means.
That's what I'm trying to define.
So break it down.
To break it down. So GDP is the monetary value of all goods produced within an economy.
Okay.
Within an economy. So that is the monetary value. GNP factors in what you earn as a Nigerian citizen outside plus what you have inside. That is what those Indians are trying to drive at. They are increasing their GNP because at the end of the day, I'm sure they pay them in foreign currencies, not in Naira, which is most likely there's a capital outflow. They'll take their money back to their country.
They don't joke with it.
They don't joke with it. They have to take their money out. You will notice their GNP will increase. And we also have a form of that in remittance. Okay. Some of our citizens get but in all honesty, it still boils down to orientation of the citizen. This is what we're trying to achieve. A shared goal. I'll also narrow it to Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew took Singapore from third world economy to a first world economy. Deliberate effort. And what he did was he schooled outside Singapore and he came back to serve the government.
In his country?
Yes.
Okay.
His children schooled in the country and they served the government.
In the same Singapore?
In the same Singapore.
Okay.
What the government did was, in Singapore, they built infrastructures for government workers. Like he said, no issues with you driving your car. You can drive your car, but the official car has to be a locally made car. We have two prominent producers, manufacturers of vehicle. We have N.U.R.T.W and N.U.R.T.W.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing I've noticed is N.U.R.T.W has found a way to introduce their vehicles into Unilag. I see their vehicles around.
I saw their stand.
Some I think the VC has one as an official car. They have some utility vehicles, and subconsciously they have. That's the first Nigerian motor company that has electric vehicle in Unilag or in Lagos. I've seen.
Okay, Innocent too does that.
Electric.
Innocent has electric car, even gas. And also, Innocent do give out their, especially their pickup kind of cars to police.
Yes,
So,
I noticed that
yeah.
one also.
And they have this gas kind of car. They were the
Yeah,
first
the
ones to
CNG
introduce CNG
vehicles.
kind of car. Yes,
So
CNG vehicles.
subconsciously, people are already starting to feel like, oh, we can trust our own brand. It's going to take time, but top to bottom approach, not in terms of flow of resources, but in terms of orientation. We need to synthesize the people.
Because it should get to a point whereby all these people you are mentioning that either government agencies or parastatals, it seems yes, government has the power to support all these things. I want it to be like when ordinary citizen wakes up tomorrow and wants to get a car, and just stand up, okay, I want to buy a Nigeria. So that consciousness has to be built in us.
The thing
right?
is, I feel that the consciousness is there, but the quality is a problem.
It's suspect.
This is a suspect because
Yes.
from time immemorial, we also noticed that Nigeria has actually not produced anything way solid,
makes sense like that.
except we produce our children.
But we're producing solid children.
Solid children.
But now we go produce
Sharp
children
IQ.
finish. Consistent then go Japan, go South Abba
So,
with the export children,
The
Abi.
problem is, thank you. And by the time you treat the children finish, you want to take the children outside Nigeria because we feel that over there, and it's not even our fault because it's not their fault because with all this your MA, MAC, CPHD, if you go that side, they say you never start though. You have to take another course that will bring you up to the level of, and that's where we need to start. The economy and our government needs to actually give us something solid.
Yeah.
A platform.
That is the environment. See,
Yes.
these same Nigerians, you say, some of the quality of what we produce around here, not good enough. You take that same guy. Nigerians are in Boeing.
True.
They are in Airbus. They are in NASA. These are agencies. I mean, when you are manufacturing the aircraft, you know what we're talking about.
True.
Precision engineering.
Yeah, no error.
NASA, if you are going to shoot someone into the moon and all of that. So it's these same guys that were saying they can't produce quality, that are out there doing quality. What makes the difference? It's the environment they have found themselves. Yeah. So in those organizations out there, they have a culture of excellence. This is it, this is it, this is it. You must deliver it like this, like this, like that. And they are held to that standard. So if today you have business leaders, and there are some business leaders who are holding themselves to certain level of standard and rolling out products at those level of standard, even in this country. We were talking rice. I won't mention them, I'll just talk generically. A lot of Nigerians today want to eat foreign rice. I said, look, in this same market, there are manufacturers that are doing top grade rice. No stones, no broken pebbles, no shaft. Nigerians, they plant it in Nigeria, they mill it in Nigeria, they bag it in Nigeria. I also must admit that there are other smaller people who typically form the focus of that discussion where the quality of their rice is suspect. There could be stones, there could be this, there could be that in their rice.
But the ratio, their own ratio overwhelms the one that's doing the right thing.
Because the money that you will use to even start up that kind of milling of that kind of rice, na 10 naira.
Sir, Mr. Gulam, please hold your thought for a minute. Let me quickly say to what you said. Is it money or the intention?
Okay.
Have you found a Nigeria company that was built, for instance, you build a company, a rice mill, for instance. This is how I want this to be run. So you give them adequate funds on a monthly basis. As Nigerians, do you trust your other Nigerians that you have put in those places that they will actually utilize that fund available for them?
A standard. When you set a standard, whoever is coming into your company must follow the standard. Do you understand? So now this is what people who do standard, what they do basically, they train you first, most times for 3 to 6 months. So you imbibe their standard.
Correct.
That's what they do abroad too. No matter how you do it, when you get there they feel that wherever you're coming from, they need to first of all reorientate you. And that takes 3 months, 6 months for you to do it the way they are doing it. And then when they see that you are meeting up to what they want, their standard, they retain you. If not, you're gone. So yes, money is part of it, whether you like it or not. If there's money, If money there, friend go there. If there is money, you can build anything. But the truth still remains that we, like you said, people who have access to rice, especially from my village, there's a way my people do rice. We don't buy rice. There's a way we plant, and then there's a way we just harvest it, and then you see from the beginning of Onitsha down to my village.
Where is your village?
I'm from Obaru.
Okay, Obaru.
So down to that Obaru road, Atani, you will see rice on main road. That's how they dry it, and once it's dry, then they begin to. But it's tedious. But they are not doing it for sale; they are doing it for feeding.
Dotun, do you feel if, let's take for instance, let's say, people in Lagos, they know how to cultivate rice. Do you think it is still, I mean, like your village, nobody buys rice. So do you think it's, how, or let me put it this way, how do you think Ogbaro people live by eating? You cannot live by eating rice alone, you know.
We plant cassava, we plant yam, we plant pepper, we plant garden.
So can we not say that we should have, I mean, something peculiar to a state that they can do to survive on their own?
I think
Even
it's
if
like
you start
that
from, we are talking about feeding, right? You know, there's other stuff that life still will require from you before you can just live a day. So, but let's even talk about, let's say, 3 major things in life is just, I think, feeding, fashion, transportation, and those are the basic pieces.
Lagos is transport though.
Look, before we even come
You
to
can't
that,
even plant anything in Lagos.
okay, now like Lagos now, come on.
Don't be too
Our
sure.
problem is complex.
Don't
in
be
this
too
country,
sure.
but honestly.
When it comes to science and technology, you can literally farm anywhere.
Anywhere. Yes.
A very good example is a little state called Israel. Israel is just it's actually smaller than Niger State in Nigeria, and a chunk of the land is the Negev desert, so you can't even plant anything there. You can't survive. You can't thrive. In fact, sometimes when you now remember that the reference to a land that flows with milk and honey, you are wondering if part of this land is desert. So where is the milk and honey? But because of science and technology, the amount of money that Israel makes from agriculture is unbelievable. They export vegetables to Europe from Israel in that little piece of land. Meanwhile, here we are in Nigeria. Like I said, it's not up to Niger State. So you can imagine the volume of arable land that we have. Apart from not having enough land, Israel has what you call water poverty. So there's not enough water. So they have to, employ all these their science and technology to ensure that water can get around and they can do agriculture and all of that. Here, we have big land, we have plenty water, we still import most of what we eat. So, how do we get to that position where we begin to look inward and see that those solutions are right by our nose? A state like Niger alone, other things being equal, can feed not just only Nigeria, can probably feed the entire West Africa.
So why is it not happening?
Wow.
There are several reasons why it will not happen.
Okay.
Before we even start talking of all those insecurity issues, because there were years when there were no insecurity issues in this country.
And still they don't feed us.
If, as a state, I can get 80% of what I need to spend by just sending my commissioner of finance to Abuja every month, then there's an issue. I don't want to go, because that could veer us into some political arena. I think we should veer away from that. But in reality, there is a huge role to create that environment. Even when it comes to standards and holding people to standards, there has to be the involvement of government and the standardization organizations all across, professional organizations. We're talking about money. Money is important to drive everything, but money is not enough. I have gone to houses of very wealthy people, and you're still looking at finishing. And you're asking yourself, only God knows how many billions this guy has spent here. Look at the toilet. Look at the way the tiles on the walls are arranged. So there's still a problem about taste and quality and being able to deliver the right level of standard even when you have the money. That could also apply even in production in the industry. You could be pumping out money now. If there is no visionary to champion that this is the minimum quality acceptable for us. You can't do it. If you do anything less than that, you're out of this place. If there is no visionary to champion that, you will spend money. You still will not deliver the right quality. And people will always measure what you're delivering with what they're getting from somewhere else and say, man, I would just rather
do for it.
So where are we missing Dotun? There's this thing I want you to explain to us, like how, see, if you are building your mansion, you must start from inside the soil.
Foundation,
you have to dig first, pour small cement before you mount. See, where can we start that my house can be, okay, I can supply my street so thing, but if I need anything in return, I can go to next street to get it. You understand what I want us to come with a model that can work within Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? If you know that, okay, anything you produce, or if you want me to collect this thing from you, I beg you got jump to this level. If you know reach level, I will not go collect from, and I'm not go give you my own. So how can we just start something around that?
So it still boils down to enabling environment. And when I mean enabling environment, currently we've seen international companies take a flight out of Nigeria.
Yes.
Guinness, PZ, GSK, top manufacturer of medicines, augmenting skyrocketed onto like 40,000 naira.
Not maintaining anything again.
I don't know how they brought it back, but the one they
no, it's been imported now, and that's why it's expensive.
Yeah,
paracetamol now is about one sachet that we buy 100 naira is about 600 naira.
600. So enabling environment is another thing that we really need to thrive in this country. Power is very, very germane in production, and a company, for instance, might be selling, if you check their revenue, very high. They can make billions from revenue, but by the time you start checking their cost of production, cost of logistics, power, these people run on diesel.
Yeah.
If you go to industrial areas, diesel cost is really high. So by the time they get to the profit before tax, everything has been eroded, and the government still takes out of the profit. Also, infrastructure it also contributes to enabling environment. You say you want to become an exporter to have foreign earnings, right? Not to rely too much on oil. But if you go to Agbara, there was a day I went to Agbara where we have some of these guys, Unilever and the likes. I drove my car there. I blamed myself. Honestly. I said, never again in my life. I'm still traumatized till now.
Horrible road.
The sump of my car hit the ground and I had bah. And by the time I checked, the oil was leaking. I was like, oh my god. The mechanic just said, don't drive this car, park it, let's fix it. They charged me, I think, around 70k because my engine could get knocked out.
Yeah.
So let's now imagine a production going on because of the free land mass there. They don't have power like that. They don't. Yeah. Now, to bring the product out, that is Ogun State to Lagos State. Now let's go to Ibadan. That has Oluyole Industrial Estate. Thank God they just that Lagos Ibadan Expressway. They've been constructing that road from 2010.
Since I was a baby.
I knew that road, like being I won't mention. Has been constructing that road since 2010. Now let's go to. I went to Nnewi and I saw guys producing plastics. I saw different factories around.
That's another thing I would like to talk about.
When I went there, I was like, wow. I saw GP tanks being produced. And I was like, so they don't actually import these things?
No.
I was like, so, but I checked the road from the airport.
Bad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
now we've gotten to east now, southwest.
No. The airport you're talking about is Delta State. Though.
Is that Delta State?
Yes.
Oh
Asaba.
yeah, I took a cab 40k
Yes.
from the airport to that's
Once you cross the overhead
bridge, that bridge.
Anambra has road. Leave that to us.
Which road? Those roads are not really fantastic.
Can it
just continue.
Can it
Those
take
roads are
100 trucks?
I'm not being
100
sentimental.
trucks?
Yes.
Trucks.
It can.
There
And
was
they
traffic.
pass what-
There was traffic on that road.
You know the way the road is.
Yeah, there was traffic. Now let's now go to north, like Kogi. When you are going to Kaba,
Just
the road is not that. If not for,
There's the Dangote Pato.
I didn't want to mention that was what I was. If not for
Obajana.
that, so you check all these things, and we have farm produce coming from the north. Some of these tomatoes, before they get to Lagos, they're spoiled. Those are losses to some people. So if we don't have an enabling environment, I don't think our local industry can thrive. And secondly, the inflow of cash. You want your local industries to thrive. Some of these people can't compete with the guys you brought in. Because they don't have access to cash to buy the same machine. You said it that they spread rice by the roadside.
Yes.
But if they want to get a meal,
It will cost a lot.
it will cost a lot. And the bank will tell you, come and take it at 35%.
You see the problem.
is it that? Wait, I don't understand. I really don't want us to talk about government.
No, we have.
It seems
There's no way.
it's all centered around them.
I'm not attacking.
There's
they're not
also a
attacking.
space for mentorship,
True.
Yes.
which involves literally every segment of the society. So rather than complaining about those boys, they don't want to do anything, those girls, they don't want to. How many of them do you engage? Do you speak with? Do you understand what the issues are? What do they want, and how can you guide them? Are you someone also that they can look up to and want to listen to? I have had some engagement that, I found out how I was so wrong about my perception about certain incidences or certain persons until engagement. It's when you engage, you begin to understand where they're coming from. You begin to understand the complexion of the problem and a solution. I even found out that sometimes people just even need someone to talk to.
True.
They probably don't believe that you have the solution to them, but they want you to be able to judge and share ideas. And in the course of the ideas, they might pick one or two things that could set them in the right direction. When it comes to matters of standards, there is the government side, the standard organizations, the organization of government like the N.U.R.T.W and the rest, that was set up to maintain certain standards in certain areas. Professional organizations, institute of this, institute of that, they're also meant to help to set standard. But there is also a place of standards with mentorship. When you hear something from people you look up to, I used to get involved in a lot of media related issues, and I found out that I didn't think I was really of that much influence until even when election came and some people were asking me, this and this and this and this, who do you think we should vote for and why? Why were they asking that question? They wanted to see my own view, my own explanation. So it means that that kind of a person, if I set a standard for him of expectation of certain things, most likely that person will listen, will follow.
Yes.
So there's a role for mentorship, either at the parental level or at the religious organizations. All forms of leadership can offer some sort of mentorship to guide. The place is full of lost people.
True.
And lost people with ideas that a little support could help to put them on the right track to deliver as an important part of taking us from where we are to where we desire to go.
Wow. So what platform do we have to have in place? Secondly, before we go for a short break, I am still looking for provision for those guys you see on your street that play football in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening. That you see them that they don't have any other thing to do than to play football.
Maybe it's football they want to play.
So, how about those ones that you see on the street in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, that they just beg for? So, what can we just think about provision? I want us to look out of government,
Let's
please.
be frank.
Let us look
Let's
in. What
be
can
frank.
they do? What can we do? What do they
They
need?
also know that what they are doing isn't what they ought to do. But the truth is, a lot of them have built their world around it. Like the place where if you drive to a place like Ikoton, you will see some set of boys that their job is just,
Direct your car.
where are you going to?
They will run in
And
front of your
they
car.
don't want to do anything. That's what they want to. And there are other guys who they will just come to you. You go have fun, you know. Now, are you saying that you want to tell the one that is saying that you can walk? Let me put you in the right direction. Is that what you are looking for actually? Because you see that guy, that's his office. He don't build table, chair, and everything around that place. What he wants to do basically is that. And I don't think
I might need to step in.
Okay, step in.
Sorry.
Because I don't think if he was going to see why I said that.
You totally
is because
disagree what he's
the
saying.
age.
Because I believe there
You
should be a
cannot
place
teach.
of.
You cannot teach old dog new trick.
Okay.
If you you can't.
So permit me to.
The only thing I feel I can do, like what I do normally in my space, in my community, is I pick younger guys between 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I try as much as possible to impact them.
So how do you impact? Is it sustainable? Does it last forever?
Mine is sustainable.
Dotun,
I have
you
a
say you
WhatsApp
wanted to say
group.
something.
Yes.
You
I have a
okay,
WhatsApp group
do
where
you
I
want to
teach
say?
them Forex, and then we go from there.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's what I know how to do. So we need to look for what we know how to do best. Like you said, mentorship.
To them, yeah.
You need to bring, like there's a guy that has been disturbing me for 2 years saying that he wants to follow me everywhere as a stand-up comedian. He said it's funny. And I told him anybody can be a stand-up comedian. It's just about writing jokes and delivery. Do you understand? So if you move with the right set of persons, you become that person. And if this man that is about 35, 40 is doing you don't intend, it is not somebody you can keep down and now tell him, well, I'm
I think you can.
okay.
So let me have
I
your
think
view.
I
Let me
think
have
you
your
can. So we are blessed with both physical resources and human resources. We have the population. But one thing is we need to reorientate these guys, which you deem impossible.
At certain age. That's what
At certain
we said.
age,
That's what we
yes.
said.
But I will tell you something I have been trying in my church. So there's this club 58 in Global Impact Church. We had this partnership with an organization, N.U.R.T.W, to build something in the prison.
Okay.
ICT center in Kirikiri. We donated and we had them acquire new skills. We've seen across different prisons. How come at age 40, some of these people learn skills when they get to prison, and when they get out, maybe on pardon, I've seen some of these prisoners. My mom, she works for prison outreach. We've seen some of them become photographers. They have different skills, hairdressers, barbers.
Why do you think that happened?
Reorientation.
No.
So what?
I feel it is because they are somewhere that they don't have any other thing to do, sir. A prison is a place where you don't have access to other things.
I can tell you, they
So
do
whatever
other
they
things.
whatever they bring to you,
they
you
do
tend
all
to
that
In
spend.
prison, you can't compare somebody who is in prison and somebody who's in the bus stop who has freedom.
So there's this
who
guy.
has
There's this
choice.
guy that does something.
Correct.
There's this guy that does something. He goes around the street to dreaded places.
Okay.
He's a barber. He
I've seen
approaches.
him.
He approaches them. They would, yell at him. Say, you know what? Give me an opportunity to get your haircut and change your look. He gives them a very nice haircut. He defines them and show them like this is what you can look like.
Yeah.
Some of these guys have. There's a lady too that got like I saw on social media, Atit scattered or something. She has started business. She takes drugs, does all sorts, and she has a kid. But I don't know, some way, somehow, somebody got her on social media, and there was a way they were like talking to her. It started as a joke.
Yeah.
And next thing I saw, the last video I saw of her, she was trying to feel her teeth.
Okay.
She has started business.
What you don't know is that she went to rehab.
Oh,
One of the things that rehab too can do is like a prison too.
Okay,
See?
now
It's still-
I like that.
it's
Let's
still boils
see.
down to
See,
They are all
Nigerians.
part of the corrective system.
Corrective system, yes.
So we have to see Nigeria now as a
we
prison.
can't give up.
As a prison, because once people escape from this prison, they move away to better environment. Let us ideate within this hour. Let us be open to a specific orientation, but this orientation is not circulating, and that is where I'm going to. It seems all the focus is on government, big companies, big brands. By the time the owner of that big brand that is 70 years old is gone, where is that 20 years old boy today that will come and replace him? Everyone that is going to school today, they are harvesting them elsewhere. They are taking them out of this place. But we said Israel, as little as they are exporting. I see many some people are doing advertisements for export. What do we really want to export in Nigeria? Who is going to make them?
There. See,
But we're exporting.
we're exporting now.
Exporting crude.
We're
We
exporting.
need these small boys
There is-
to be able to have something they can do on their own.
GB, there's something I noticed
How many minutes?
that looks like a trend, but it stopped for like 10, 20 years now. Have you ever seen a man who is a farmer and his children continued after he's gone? Have you ever seen a carpenter that, in the abroad, there are people you see, they'll say, these ones that they've been, he is the 10th generation.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they are being prepared. The only set of people that does this thing are the Northerners. They take over their father's business because they are being prepared for it. I was telling my wife and my children the other day how, these boys that we went to Opik Estate around Agbara side, and then we saw small boy I think that boy should be the same age with my first son, 6 years. And he's with Cain and he's rearing cows, big cows. And my wife was like, how come this boy? I said, do you know how they initiate him to do this?
They bring them up to be able to do it.
They bring them up to be able to do it. The feces of the cow, they will rub it on their body and they will carry it for weeks. Because it's from the smell that they get to know that, now our shepherd with this. My father was a farmer. I was taught to farm. But where am I today?
now you're commenting.
That's the thing. Because in the end, we don't, the whole thing dies, but because of how do I put it? Is it the Gen Z or
There is really no succession plan for a lot of those businesses. Unless you were deliberate about making it happen, which is what those people you're talking about are. They are deliberate and they start early. Exposing those people to the business, showing them why it is a good place to be, and nurturing them to work in it. If you don't do that, if you're not deliberate about it, you're just assuming. The child will wake up and tell you he wants to
do something else.
Even when the business has brought him up as he has seen money in it, he's still saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. One thing we have spoken about here today was issue about creating awareness, reorientating people. One institution that has gotten a reorientation that has taken it very seriously has been the military institution. Yes, especially in some other parts of the world. I used to have a Nigerian girlfriend who joined the U.S. Navy when I was still in America too.
Okay.
And I saw the girl that entered the Navy and the one that came out by the time she was done with that training. Totally different person. Because, a person who would not understand what is America doing in Iraq before would justify why we have to be here, why we have to be here, why we do what we do, why we don't do what we don't do.
Because of orientation.
This orientation. She was literally smoking and breathing the military. Having been totally convinced that this is the right place to be, whatever they are doing, that is the right thing to do.
So I feel the energy we are taking to believe the religious, we should try to maybe do the
Take
same
part
thing.
of this.
Yes, to this industrial. I mean, if we don't do this, Nigeria will not grow to that state of being exporting
A lot of-
things. So
a
now,
lot of
before we say other things, please let us take a little break. Please, we will come back and discuss a way forward for Nigerians and Nigeria at large.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Dotun,
Yeah.
basically, I'm still trying to understand where you are coming from with your any age you can. Well, let's leave that one. Let's leave that one. So, basically, I would like to know in a few minutes, what do you feel, what do you think we can introduce into the system that can profile a solution to to how we can escape from our reliance on foreign products?
Okay. So for me, I think we had three sectors: the agric, and the industrial, as well as the service. I think what happened in case of our countries, we jumped from here
To service.
to service. Now the question is how we going to me, tech is the new oil.
True.
Dubai doesn't have farmable lands. They used this tech greenhouse farming. There was a way they used their tech to plant every vegetable.
It's happening in Nigeria now too.
Yes, we have likes of tomato juice, but there are very few of them. And the funniest part is tomato juice takes half
Product outside.
and even sell it to the tomato paste companies. Now, there's a guy in Dubai, I stumbled upon his work. The two of them, I think they were Goldman Sachs trained, and they came to Dubai, and they noticed that Dubai was importing too much of food produce. So what they did was they invested in the tech space, built the greenhouse farming, and they also created a marketplace that would link other competitors that would also, the new people would also venture into that space to do that greenhouse farming. So they connected the supermarkets, the lights, so something like a GG. G gets,
Yeah.
no matter the produce, even from that your rice guys, so far they meet the standard that's been set. We have N.U.R.T.W, we have Sun. Once we do that, you can launch it. So tech, if we are tech inclined, there's an endless possibility to what you can use tech to do.
Okay. So you feel we should techify the system?
Anything is techifiable.
That's true.
Anything is techifiable.
GB.
Well, technology, no doubt about that. But we must be deliberate about driving issues of patriotism among our people, and it should be driven at all levels of leadership. And you see, leaders set the agenda. And I'm not talking of just the Abuja man or politician. And there's a way the followers line up. When you see leaders that are not doing the right thing as well, the followers are merely waiting to also get into that position and do the same wrong things, which shows the level of influence that leadership has on the followership. So let's begin to, at various levels, reorientate our people. Let's get involved in issues around mentorship. Let's create platforms. It's not everybody that can even be a mentor anyway. It takes a bit of time, willingness to listen to people and all of that. But if we create platforms and create them at various levels where people can come to and be happy to come there, in fact, bring people that they admire onto some of those platforms. There are some people, once they see, oh, this person is there, they are also coming there.
Even schools.
Even schools.
Because you see that your when school. Okay.
it happens.
Because people are the force that drives change.
Exactly. So use those platforms to reach out to many. You might come onto a platform that you come for a different purpose because you have seen somebody there, but there are actually the champions of that platform who will engage and are propagating and are reorientating and are doing the kind of thing that I described that the military in the US are able to do to those soldiers that come into that place. By the time even in Nigeria, people are doing it. I know some organizations in Nigeria, when they hire you, they put you through an orientation period of about 6 weeks, not maybe 2 months. They put you up in one hotel. So they have a training school, not really a hotel. That's where you sleep. That's where you wake up. You attend all the training. By the time you are coming out of that place, you are a changed person.
You're breathing them.
You're breathing them. And we can do similar things at different levels, at individual level, at corporate level, and begin to change this country bit by bit and move people in the direction that we think we should do. Government has a huge role, no doubt about that, but I don't want us to leave everything to the government.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So before I allow Mr. Festus to round up, don't you also think that in the educational sector that most of these mentorship things the ideation comes from your surrounding,
Correct.
people you talk to, and every other? I also feel that, or don't you also have my kind of mindset that in the schools too, I think they should inculcate something that will help our children also think idea-wise, instead of just consuming book, and then when they come out.
Those are deep policy issues. As a matter of fact, we can't have education discussion today. The curriculum, as we speak today, is still an industrial age curriculum. The world has moved away from the industrial age. A daughter of one of my friends, before they left for Canada, was in SS something here, taking about 8 or 9 subjects, I can't remember.
15.
It was reduced to 4 in Canada.
When it gets to Canada, imagine.
Finland.
And one of the 4 was sports.
As a subject.
Yes. So it shows that, things have changed dramatically. You're asking this guy, you've already profiled, you see that, this guy is interested in this part. Maybe let's just use science as an example. He loves science. Why do I want him to take IRK or government? Why? There are other platforms where she can on her own still get some education in that space. Even watching news, if you want, you can sit down and be watching political news, or and you can pick something. But as to what is the makeup, what is the DNA of this guy, you've been able to identify this is it. Why are you distracting him with 15 subjects? But that is a deep issue in the education space, issues around the curriculum. The curriculum, which is still largely an industrial age curriculum. You see a situation in which you even say somebody did not pass math, and you think because of that he's a dumb person. Or he didn't pass English. Why must I pass English?
Test me with Igbo.
So, but those are real extensive, deep education issues. Yeah, we can't even bite that.
Honestly, if you have to talk about that one, we will talk. I hope there will be solutions on this. But there's something came to mind. I was driving through this passport office at Ikoyi, the one at Ikoyi. So to your left, I think there's one filling station here. To your left, you will see one abandoned building.
That's not so, that's full building.
As in, blocks of like three blocks of there. And each of those blocks will carry nothing less than maybe 200 rooms. So I just looked to myself, this thing since I've been in Lagos, I've been seeing this building there. But just okay. Is there something that maybe government in collaboration with some kind of companies or something Can't we just use a platform like this to look out for these young boys on the streets? They must have missed out from the free education program by the government. They must have missed out from the missionary scholarship. They must have missed out in those ones. But now they are in 16. They are in 17 years of their age. Can't you just harvest these guys from the streets? Take them to a building like that. Build that building again. Make it, like Mr. Agbela said, what do you like to do? Photography. You are learning photography. Even these our Agbero boys. Give them a wing of that building. Train them how to make this Agbero thing a professional job.
Wait,
Honestly, turn them to a ticketing officer. No. Turn them to a ticketing officer.
You know where
They are tools already, so trying to convert their tools.
To something that is sustainable.
Yeah, like voiceover, use that. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3.
No, imagine you get an
There are
Agbero
tools that are
guy.
being used every 4 years, so I don't think.
No, I disagree with you. I am not talking about the gas. I am talking about the regular guys you see at your bus stop before you get to the house. I understand the political part of this you are talking about,
that's
which
not
we are
what's
trying to avoid. But you see, these guys that are Agbero,
There's something
they are
wrong.
either Agbero
No, so the
or
funny
they are
part,
Agbero.
most of them, when you question them, they have a skill.
Yes, they do.
So let us get them. What is your skill? Is
No,
it to drive?
The problem is not that they don't have a skill that you want to harness. They do. Some of them are vulcanizers, some of them are carpenters, but the carpentry work, I know one that is a mechanic. He used
So
to be my
let
mechanic.
government turn down
Do you
all those
understand?
abandoned
He left the
buildings.
mechanic
Let them
work.
turn it to
He saw that the
See,
transportation
gives them more money.
Give
them more money.
You understand?
So because there is no framework, there is no foundation, can he leave this kind of job to his children? No.
Baba, see, their children is already following suit.
Have you studied the business model of N.U.R.T.?
So tell me, what is it?
They tax the bosses. Somebody collects it. The guy that just collects the money has a target.
Yes, every day.
The guy is submitting to has a target every day.
The chairman
Has a target.
target.
Okay.
And now
and
me
it goes on
collecting,
and goes on,
me
right?
collecting
Yes.
the money. My target is to collect 200k per day. Trust me, once I hit that 200k,
Every
The
other one
rest
is
of
for
the
you.
money is
mine.
Yes.
You think
That's
I
why they are
want? You think
hustling.
I actually want to start sewing clothes? I learned
even
fashion
if it's
designing.
that.
I don't press machine again.
Oh.
I won't start doing my back when I can just demand free money from them. It's free, bro. It's free money. Once they hit their target party, they own. In fact, they go as far as buying. They make a prepayment for that ticket. So you go to the head office or
Buy it.
Buy it.
With your own money, you
Yes.
invest.
You invest.
So you go back to the street.
So that's how they
I think
sell it.
a booklet is like 450 or something. That's for the buy
450
guys.
naira.
450,000 naira. Yes.
Hey, that's their booklet.
Yes.
Booklet. Yes. 450k. If you ask an Okada man in Lagos, to tell you morning ticket is 2,000, afternoon ticket is 2,000, night ticket is 2,000.
Okay.
Now imagine how many bikes you have.
6,000 a day.
Yes.
Now,
See.
now to run this conversation is continuous. We can't just finish it right now. My point still remains that if you know that you have something to offer and you don't have the right person to speak with, we are trying to talk to some organization that can embrace your skills, that can, if you are genuinely interested in getting better than what you are at the moment, you can always reach out. And we pray that we will make this drive a worthy one to be. That Nigeria will be able to produce Nigerians that will lead Nigeria to a better place. We are not just going to be a dump site for some countries. We can build our own countries and do the needful like every other countries. But it starts with you. You cannot continue aimlessly and say someday you are the leader of tomorrow. You have to refine yourself. You have to identify what God has placed in you. You have something to do. You can do it.
So, Mr. N.U.R.T.W, would like to know your social media handle so if people want to follow you and all that.
Charles D Analyst. The D is letter D, not THE.
Okay.
So
So, on all
Charles
social
D
media handles.
Analyst. Twitter. I'm not particularly active in most of them.
Oh, just more Twitter.
But for if Facebook is my name, Bolahon Olojede. I can be found on Facebook. With
Thank
my
you
name.
so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Mr. Dotun.
So just Instagram and LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
So on Instagram, Dotman_X. Then LinkedIn,
X as in X or
X.
S.
X.
X. Okay.
Then LinkedIn, Isenere Dotun.
Okay.
People are coming for you.
They are coming for you.
They are coming for you. That's your idea. They must get it.
They are coming for you. So
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.